Not everything that's called innovation is innovative. When I ask people, tell me what innovation is, the most frequent answer I get is thinking outside the box. Well, I don't want to disappoint anyone, but thinking is not innovation. Now, every innovation begins with a clever thought, with a new way of thinking about things. But as long as I'm thinking about it, I'm not innovating it. Innovation comes only when there is full implementation. And in the process of going from novel idea to robust implementation and demonstrating that this model will work and give the benefit that is promised, I want to suggest that it's a team sport all the way through. The team sport approach to innovation is there because we live in a world in which the ideas that are really breakthroughs usually involve having expertise in so many different fields that no one person can be a master of everything that needs to be known in order to pull that innovation off. Now, there was a time, not that many years ago, a few decades ago, when one person could stay abreast of all the changes and all the new knowledge and all the scientific breakthroughs that were necessary to exploit in order to make a given innovation. But not any longer. Our corporate systems are too complex. Our world is changing so rapidly. The technology has become so complex that to innovate, we need to think of it as a team sport. And at every stage of innovation, from creating the culture to implementing the innovative idea, we've got to approach it from a team standpoint. One of the other reasons that it's a team sport is because those of us who are inclined toward innovation aren't always good at implementation. I'm being confessional here. I'll be honest with you. I'm fairly innovative in my thinking because I love solving problems. And the more complex the problem, the more energized I get in tackling it, and the more fulfillment I get from coming up with that solution. But when it comes time to implement the solution, I'm not the best person to do that. The reason is pretty simple. I get my fulfillment from solving the problem, not executing the solution. And so when I begin to execute the solution, I have my attention focused on the things that have to be accomplished. But out of the corner of my eye, I see this other problem over here that's begging for a solution. Have you ever been driving down the road and got captivated by a billboard off to the side and began to read the billboard? And where did the car head before long? Off toward the billboard. Well, see, I'm trying to drive this implementation, but I'm reading the billboard, the problem over here. And what's going through my mind is, man, that's an interesting problem. Wonder how I would solve that. Oh, no, I've got to stick with this implementation. And so I work on this Oh, wait a minute. Now, how would I solve that? Oh, I got to get back to this. When I get finished, I'm going to go tackle that one. Now, that is the flat side on my wheel. I use that term because the man who was my lifelong mentor used it a dozen times a year with me. He sort of took me under wing when I was in my late 20s. We continued to be good friends until his passing a few years ago. And if he said to me once, he said to me 100 times, we all have a flat side on our wheel somewhere. The sooner we recognize that flat side and build people and systems around us to compensate for it, the sooner we will be successful and the more successful we will be. I think that is some of the wisest advice I've ever been given. It calls on us to have the humility to really face what is the flat side on my wheel. And I had to face up to the fact early on that I love solving the problem. I was not good at executing this solution. And so wherever I had the choice to choose my number two person, whether in higher education or the military or church life, wherever that I could choose the number two person, I went looking for somebody who loved execution, loved implementation, and who had the strength of ego that they would not hesitate for a moment to say, hey, boss, the wheels are about to come off over here because you're off solving that problem and not paying enough attention to the execution. They would hold me accountable. They would hold me to task. I needed that colleague. Well, I have since discovered in coaching now over 700 executives and entrepreneurs, many of them very imaginative, very innovative, that there is a propensity for those of us who love innovation to love solving the problem but not be particularly effective at executing the solution, implementing the resolution of an issue that has bothered us or our organization or even mankind for some time. That being said, we need teams when it comes to the implementation of innovation, because some are going to be the ones who conceive the new breakthrough and figure out how to make it happen, but it's going to be others who bring astute skills to making the implementation robust. And I keep using that term, robust. What is a robust implementation? Well, it's one that is widely accepted and widely imitated or widely utilized. If you come up with a great innovative idea and you come up with a demonstration that it will work, but it's not much more than just a viability demonstration, you still don't have an innovation. Because until there is a robust implementation of it so that we see that it really solves a problem and solves it across a lot of different contexts, in a lot of different situations, in a lot of different scenarios, it's still just sort of a novel idea that's floating around.